The episode begins with our protagonist arriving in the city. Upon his arrival, he thinks, great, but I'm low on money. Let me go meet my godfather and borrow some funds to get by. As he's walking, he notices a huge crowd gathered in one area. Curious, he wonders, what's happening over there that's attracting so many people? Deciding to find out, he moves closer and discovers that the military is recruiting new members. Excitedly, he thinks, wow, if I join the army, I'll earn money, become independent, and won't have to rely on my father or borrow from my godfather anymore. Determined, he gets in line. When his turn comes, the recruiter asks, which category would you like to join? Confused, our protagonist replies, what do you mean by categories? The recruiter explains, the military isn't just about frontline soldiers. There are various roles. Think about it and let me know. He ponders for a moment. The first option is the standard infantry, where he'd have to fight battles directly. He thinks, nah, that's too risky. What if I get killed? That's out. The second option is as a cook, preparing meals for the soldiers. He muses, I don't even know how to cook. Can't choose that. The third option is archery, where he'd shoot enemies from a distance. He lights up, thinking, I can do that! Enemies get hit, I gain experience, and no cooking involved. I've practiced archery before. He tells the recruiter, I'd like to join the archery division. Impressed, the recruiter hands him some documents and says, good choice. Take these papers and head over to the archery area for your test. Once you pass, you'll be officially admitted. With his documents in hand, he arrives at the designated area where an officer is waiting. He greets, hello, I'm a new recruit here for my test. The officer responds, great, here's your bow and arrow. Show me what you've got. Confidently, our protagonist says, I'm no amateur. I've been practicing archery since I was a kid. He takes his stance, and the officer, noticing his perfect form, immediately declares, you're already qualified. From today onwards, you're part of our team. Surprised, he says, but I haven't even shot an arrow yet. The officer replies, your posture alone shows your expertise. There's no need for a test. Grinning, our protagonist thinks, all those days my father forced me to practice are finally paying off. The officer continues, congratulations. You've been assigned to our 3rd Battalion. To complete the remaining formalities, you'll need to meet our commander. He asks, is that necessary? The officer affirms, absolutely. Our headquarters is in the northern area. Head over there and meet her. Before leaving, he's asked for his name. Not wanting to reveal his real identity, he provides a fake name, Shavpen, to avoid any potential complications. Arriving at the headquarters, he approaches a curtained entrance. As he lifts the curtain, his hand accidentally grabs onto something soft and plush. Intrigued, he gives it a squeeze, thinking, wow, this feels nice. Suddenly, a forceful kick lands on him, and a woman's voice shouts, you scoundrel! He looks up to see a strikingly beautiful woman standing before him. Realization hits him hard. This is Xuan, the most renowned woman in the entire country, famed not just for her beauty, but also for being a heavenly jewel master. Earlier, we mentioned that those possessing both physical and elemental jewels are given this esteemed title. In their nation, only 2 people hold this distinction, his father and this very woman, who also serves as the military commander he was supposed to meet. Embarrassed and shocked, he thinks, oh no, did I just grab? Xuan, clearly furious, demands, who are you? And how dare you enter my quarters and behave so indecently? Hastily, he apologizes. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any harm. I'm a new recruit. Here's my paperwork. She examines his documents and, calming down slightly, says, all right, it seems your papers are in order, but that doesn't excuse your behavior. No one has ever dared to touch me like that before. Anger still evident in her eyes, she commands, stop standing there and get moving. Go complete your remaining tasks. He quickly responds, yes, ma'am. Thank you. As he walks away, he thinks, she's angry, but not as much as I'd expect given what just happened. Compared to that obnoxious princess, she's incredibly understanding. Meanwhile, the other soldiers who witnessed the incident are seething with jealousy and anger. They grumble among themselves. Who does this guy think he is? She barely even acknowledges us, and here she is talking to him. We'll teach him a lesson later. Later, Xuan approaches him and says, here are your supplies. New uniform, weapons, everything you need. Make sure you're present tomorrow at the training grounds on time, or there will be consequences. Grateful, he replies, thank you, Commander. Actually, I wanted to say, but before he can finish, she walks away. He thinks, better not push my luck. She might still be upset. Despite the earlier incident, thoughts of Xuan linger in his mind. He muses, she's truly something else. Not only is she beautiful, but she's also powerful and kind, way better than that spoiled princess. Feeling excited about his new role, he decides to try on his uniform immediately. Spotting a nearby restroom, he heads inside, impressed by how clean it is. Stripping down, he starts changing into his military attire. Midway through, nature calls, and he decides to relieve himself right there. Just then, the door opens, and to his shock, Xuan walks in. Startled, he exclaims, "Commander, what are you doing here? You should have knocked." She retorts, "Why should I knock? This is my personal bathroom." Embarrassed, he stammers, I didn't know. I thought it was a public restroom. I'm so sorry." Trying to compose herself, Xuan notices he's completely undressed and snaps, "If you just needed to use the facilities, why are all your clothes off?" He explains, "I was changing into my uniform and then needed to, Rolling her eyes, she says, "Just finish up and get out." He quickly dresses and exits, apologizing profusely. "I'm really sorry for the misunderstanding." Clearly irritated, she replies, "You've been nothing but trouble since you got here. Get your act together." As she leaves, he thinks, "Guess I messed up again. Hopefully, she'll cool down by tomorrow." Later that evening, he decides to write a letter to his father, informing him that he's safe and has joined the military. He also mentions that he's no longer interested in marrying the princess, citing her rude behavior and requesting that any marriage arrangements be canceled. Meanwhile, back at the royal palace, the king is furious with the princess. He confronts her. "What have you done to your fiancé? If I find out that he's dead because of you, I won't hesitate to punish you severely," the princess pleads. "Father, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for things to go so far. But remember, I'm your only daughter. You wouldn't harm me, would you?" The king responds sternly. "That young man's father has saved our kingdom countless times. If not for him, we wouldn't be here today. That's why I arranged this marriage, to honor his family's contributions. But your reckless actions have jeopardized everything. If any harm has come to him, you'll face the consequences." The episode concludes with tensions high on all fronts, leaving everyone wondering how these complicated situations will unfold.